Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Conversation for ESL Listening. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Christina. So have a cup and join the conversation.
All right. Well, good morning, Christina. Nice to see you again, as always.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
You enjoying a crisp, cold, cool winter day? Well, almost winter. I guess it's not quite winter.
Yes, it is pretty chilly in here. Although, it's about 44 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's windy. And the wind is really cold today. Or as they say, would they say it blistery, right? When it's
Oh,
really cold
blustery?
wind. Oh,
Blustery?
blustery. Oh, look at that. I just used the wrong word. Don't do that, people. Blustery.
Yeah, a little blustery. Yeah. Well, this morning I did not want to get out of the bed because I was so cold. I was bundled up in my blankets and I heard my husband walking around and I'm like, go turn on the fireplace and, get the chill out of the air a little bit. But it's funny because now it's not even cold. It warmed up quite a bit. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it can go quite the range. Start off really cold early in the morning and then get much warmer. So, anyway, that's life in the deep south. So, anyway, guys, we have something a little bit different for you today, a little different format. And we were talking and we thought, this is all about conversation. And one thing that is definitely important for conversations, that is phrasal verbs. And if you don't know what a phrasal verb is, then it's basically a verb that also has something that looks like a preposition after it. And you have to use the two words together, kind of like wake up, right? We all use the word wake up. Maybe you didn't realize it was a phrasal verb, but it is. And that those two words have to be used together. And it has a very specific meaning. And we have lots and lots and lots of phrasal verbs. And I don't know about you, Christina, because I did not learn English as a second language, but even I think they are hard. How was it for you learning phrasal verbs?
They are hard, and you almost have to, some of them you just have to memorize what the phrasal verb is because you try to make sense. When you learn a language, you always try to make sense of words and the meaning. And with some phrasal verbs, verbs in English, they don't make sense. Like the two words don't make sense, but once they go together, they have a specific meaning. So I know a lot of times I had to just memorize those phrasal verbs to be able to use them or understand what they are.
Right.
So they're tough.
They are. But the good thing is, there are a lot of them. You don't have to use them all. There are some that are really important, that you probably use all the time, like wake up, pick up, put on. We're going to be talking about some phrasal verbs with the word put today. So, take them little by little and remember that there is not necessarily a one-to-one meaning when we say, oh, this phrasal verb has this meaning. You can't always use them in the exact same situations. So that's what makes them trickier, I think.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, they tend to have a very specific and limited meaning that's not as broad as the synonym. That's the one word. So, yeah. But anyway, we'll talk more about these. If you like phrasal verbs and you want to hear more about them, please let us know and maybe make a suggestion. And we'll definitely try to cover more in the future if this is something that you guys like. All right. So what we're going to do here, like I said, we are going to talk about the phrasal verbs with put. And I have several of them here on my list. And we're going to start off more simple, and then we're going to get to more complex. And even if you think you know these phrasal verbs already, there's a good chance that maybe there's something here that you'll learn that's new. Right. So here we go. The first one I had, I do want to say one thing. Before I get into my phrasal verb. Sorry, guys. Sometimes you have phrasal verbs that are separable and some that are inseparable. And when they're separable, they're probably the most common. And that means that you can put your object in between the two words. Like, for example, our first verb is going to be put out, and you can put something out or you can put out something. Okay. There's a little bit more complication when it comes to using pronouns. I'm not going to get into all of that, but what I will do is give you guys some links in the show notes that has more explanations on how to use them and all of that. So I think that'll be better for you to kind of check those out if that's something that's new to you. All right. So most of our phrasal verbs are going to be separable. I'm going to have one that is inseparable, and that'll be at the end. So the first one is put out. Okay. And put out is a very simple one, and it means just to extinguish. Like, what can we extinguish?
Fire, right?
Fire.
Or candle.
Candles.
For people who are smoking, they say put out your cigarette.
Right.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So something too. So it has to usually do something with a fire or something inflammable. Right?
Yes.
And you put out.
Yeah. We don't really use it for things like lights. I mean, sometimes people do, but it's more like something that has to do with a flame or fire or something that's been lit like that, like a cigarette. So
Like
yeah.
when you like when you go camping and you make a campfire.
Oh yeah.
Right? You have to, before you leave, you have to make sure you put out that fire.
Exactly.
You don't leave it burning.
Yes, that could be very dangerous. Right.
Yes.
And when there's a house fire or something like that and firemen come, nobody ever says, oh, they're going to extinguish the fire. I mean, that's what it means, but it sounds a little bit formal and maybe too academic. Everybody says they're going to put out the fire, or the firefighters put out the fire.
Right.
Like that. So yeah, I think that one's pretty simple. I don't think there's anything else that we use that for, right?
That is a phrasal verb. Yeah, in terms of phrasal verb.
Exactly. Yeah. So, okay. Now we're going to move on to put on. And a lot of you may know this one because you put on your clothes in the morning, like to get dressed, right?
Right. You put on your clothes, you put on your shoes, you put on, well, I do this every morning before I go to work. I put on my makeup.
Yes.
I put on my jewelry.
Right.
So
yeah. So
that's
basically,
very common. Very common.
Like anything. Sorry, that you actually physically apply to or put on your body, right? It can be perfume. You can put on lotion.
That's another good one.
Yeah. So jewelry. Yes. This morning, as you can probably see, I did not put on makeup.
I can't tell.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Oh, and one thing I'd like to say is that a lot of times people confuse the phrasal verb put on with wear. And wear is just in general like the clothes that are on your body. So, today I'm wearing a t-shirt, right? But this morning I put on my t-shirt, right? So, I mean, I actually physically went through the action. So, yeah.
You know, the interesting part about wear and put on also with the perfume. I always thought when I was learning English, it was really interesting that you put on perfume, but you also say, when people ask you what kind of perfume you use, they don't say what perfume you use, but they say what perfume you wear.
Yeah, that's true.
And I thought, to me, was the strangest thing, because you can't wear perfume. you spray it on or you put it on, but that's not the way of, wear, put on.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think I ever really noticed that, but yeah, you wear perfume, but because you know what, you don't wear lotion, right?
That's true.
But you wear makeup.
Exactly. So like you can, some of the liquids or like you can wear or put on. It goes both ways. Depends on what it is. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that is very strange. It's funny, as a native speaker, you don't always think of those small little subtle differences. But yeah, that's super
Right.
interesting. So yeah, what else? So what else? Put on.
So when you think about something that's not necessarily something you put on your body, when people say um, when you organize a party for somebody,
Oh yes,
right? You say you put on a party or you put on a show.
exactly. Yeah.
Um,
I think I say that
no,
all the time. Like when I talk about maybe a certain band and they have a really great show and, everything is really great about it. Instead of saying, oh, they do a great show or they, have a great show, I always say, oh, they really put on a great show.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so then the other thing too about put on, when you say, I really want to watch a movie.
Right.
So when you tell somebody to let's find a movie to watch, then you tell them what?
Let's put on a movie.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can put on a movie, you can put on some music.
Hmm.
Yeah. It almost has like the idea of some kind of performance in a way, right? Like if it's a show that you're going to see live, you put on a show, put on music, put on a movie. It seems to be used in things like that.
Yeah, there's a theme in there.
There is, yeah. So
Good
I
one.
I know you don't go to a lot of concerts, right? Who do you think puts on a really good show?
Yeah, I haven't been to too many concerts, but when I watch it sometimes on TV, I always like rock concerts because I mean I think that's my personal
Yeah.
preference. But you know who I heard actually from several people who went to see this singer's show that he puts on a really good show.
Ooh.
It's Michael Bublé.
Really, Michael Bublé. I love his music.
I do too. I love his voice. And
Yes.
everybody who actually went to his concert, they say that he puts on a really good concert, a really good show. Very
Wow.
interactive with audience and just really fun.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. It's nice when it's somebody that you admire as a musician and then you go and it's even more interesting because the show itself is just so good and the interaction. Did
Right.
I tell you about oh my goodness, what is his name now? I forgot his name. Keith Urban. Did I
Oh,
tell you about that? He's a country singer and I went to his concert. I'm not even a fan. I mean, he's fine. I don't really know anything about his music that much, but he puts on a great show because he's super interactive. He pulled some people out of the audience who had a sign that said, "Help us do our gender reveal for our baby." And he pulled them on the audience and he talked to them. He got off of the stage, came out all the way to the almost to the back and was standing in front of us and did a couple of songs literally 10 feet away from us, probably not even 10 feet, like 6 feet away from us.
that's
Yeah, it was crazy. So, yeah, that guy puts on a good show.
so. You know what I did last weekend?
What?
Um, I went to see a magic show,
Nice. Oh, that's fun.
and it was a lot of fun. And speaking about putting on a show, those guys did a great job. It
Nice.
was um there were three different types of magicians and they did all these tricks and all that, and at the end it was like Las Vegas show
Wow.
with fireworks and it was everything. And then so right at the end of the show, the very last minute, they had these strings thrown into the audience, like little streamers,
Okay.
everybody. So of course my 9-year-old just bubbled it all up into the ball, and he's like, I'm bringing that with me as a souvenir. It's just the
Just
paper.
what you need.
But it, yeah, but it was a great show. So they really did put on a good show. It was fun.
Okay. Nice. I love it. Okay, that's fun. Okay, I think that's it for that one. Oh, here is my personal favorite. Um, put off. You're already laughing because you know. You know
I
me.
don't, I don't think it's anything that's a reflection on you. I think a lot of people do like that phrasal verb.
Yes, yes. And if you don't
I can
know,
see that.
put off means to postpone, delay, or avoid doing something, maybe a task or a chore that you just don't want to do. You know you have to do it, but later.
They say there's a saying, why do something today if you can do it tomorrow?
Exactly. But no, actually, the saying has put off in there. It says exactly, don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. It's something like that. Did I get it
I
right?
like I like the reverse of it. Why
Oh,
do something today if you can put it off till tomorrow?
yeah, that's my motto. Exactly. But
But it is a
actually,
go ahead.
mhm. No, I was just going to say that there's as I was thinking about this phrasal verb, there is a quote that I found. Actually, I've heard this quote before. It's very popular in business, but it's kind of funny and it reminds me of this. So, if you've ever heard of Mark Twain, he was a famous US author, humorist, and he has a lot of quotes. There are a lot of quotes attributed to him. And this one is kind of funny. It involves a frog and it doesn't sound very nice, but we'll just ignore that for a minute. So here's a quote. If your job is to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat two frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. Yes, I don't like the idea of eating frogs, but the idea there is that get the tough stuff out of the way immediately. And then you're not having it on your mind all day long. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. But no, what do we do generally? We put it off. I don't want to make that call. I don't want to do this task because it's hard.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of, and you don't like to do it, it's not fun.
Yeah,
So, why do it now? It's kind of like, when you have a plate full of food, and I know for kids a lot of times it's the vegetables that they don't want to eat.
right.
So they'll usually leave it for the last.
Yeah.
And I always tell my son, just eat it first. If there's something you don't like, just eat it first, and then you can enjoy the rest of your food, the rest
Eat
of the
that
flavors you
frog.
like. So just like a frog. So, and as at work, usually the workplace, it's one of those things that a lot of the time before people hire you at the interview, there would be type of sub questions to see if the person likes to get things done or organized or how they plan, to find out if they like to put things off,
Yeah,
right, for
exactly.
later. And the other word I think is procrastinate.
Yeah, procrastinate, right. That's another one. And that's a little bit more formal, but the thing
Mhm.
is with procrastinate, that's just sort of general. It's like I'm procrastinating, period. It's like I'm not doing something that I'm supposed to do. But when you use put off, it's a certain task. It's a specific
Right.
thing that you're procrastinating about. And having said that, there are a lot of things that people commonly put off doing. And what did you say?
I think I know what you're talking about. Is it laundry?
Oh, let me tell you, when it comes to housework, I can put off everything. The laundry, I put it all off.
Gosh.
But yeah, we let that thing pile up and pile up until there's no, clean socks. And okay, I guess it's time. Can't put it off any longer.
So is there something is that what it is, right? Laundry and housework that people don't like to do,
Oh,
or
oh yeah, that was what I was going to say for sure. Housework, anything, laundry,
dishes?
dish. Oh yeah, dishes. vacuuming. Ugh, when you have cats, it's kind of important. So we have a Roomba, so I don't have to worry about it. My little robot can take care of the cat fur. But yeah, what else? Like putting off tasks like taxes. April 15th, our taxes are due, and we know about it way in advance, but many, many people put it off to the end. Do you?
Let's say. Well, I am kind of the opposite with taxes. We like
I
to get
figured.
them done early, so
Yes.
then you kind of know.
Yes.
But I do know quite a few people who wait until last day to file their taxes.
Hello, that
Okay,
would be me.
you're
Thank
one
you.
of them. Fine.
Well, actually, no, I can't put it off until April 15th because I have an accountant doing my taxes and they need my information by like March, I don't know, 20th or something. So, yeah, I can't put it off as long as I would like.
Funny.
What else? Do I put off anything else? Sometimes I have like this is a real thing. I need to make a call to a doctor to organize or to arrange a procedure that I really don't want to do. And so I have been putting this off for like 2 weeks. So yeah, it's a task you have to do. It's got to get done eventually, but tomorrow.
I notice it sometimes for me, it's just anything that requires a phone call.
Oh, yeah. I hate using the phone. Really?
I keep putting it off
Yeah.
because
Can we
I
text?
know.
Can we email? Anything. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yes.
I mean, I want to talk
So
to you,
anyway,
but
but most of the time we text.
that's true. Yeah. I think that's a
So that's
common
it.
thing for most people now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've pretty much done all we can do with put it off. So now we get to something a little bit tricky. And there are two phrasal verbs we're going to talk about. And they kind of sound like the same, but they're actually very different. And we're going to contrast put away with put back. Okay. So they both have to do with taking things
Mm-hmm.
and putting them in the location that they're supposed to be in. But it's a little bit different. So we have put away, which is to just place the items in their usual storage place. So, for example, you go grocery shopping,
Mm-hmm.
you put away your groceries, right? Especially if you have something frozen, you have to put that away first, right?
Right.
Yeah. What else do we put away?
I think sometimes when you clean, like you put away things,
Oh, yeah.
like put away your toys, put away your
Right.
clothes,
Put away your toys. Put away. I know you say that
put
all the
away your
time to
shoes,
put away what?
put away your shoes.
Exactly. Right. That means keep them in the place that they are supposed to be stored. Right.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
And I have another funny little story about this. Well, one thing is you put away your laundry, right?
True.
And so you means you wash your clothes, you dry your clothes, and then you have to put them away. That means you put them in your closet or your drawer or wherever they're supposed to be kept. I guess those are the two usual places, your closet or your dresser drawer. But
Right.
anyway, there's a funny little tweet that's going around the internet or something or a meme. I don't know what it is, but it always makes me laugh. It says something like, um, it takes me an hour and a half to wash and dry my clothes, but it takes about 8 to 10 business days to put them away.
Well, my story about laundry, putting
No.
away laundry is that as our washer and dryer is all the way in the basement, but our
Oh, yeah.
bedrooms are on the second floor upstairs. So usually what happens, we do laundry, right? And you put it in the washer and then you switch, put it in the dryer. When it's ready, put it in the basket and I take it upstairs. And then I fold it, but I fold it usually in our guest room. and then it sits on that bed.
Oh,
I mean, 8 to 10 business days, 8 to 10
if you're
business
lucky.
weeks, until I have guests and I have to clean the room.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
So
That's
put,
definitely
put it
me
away,
for
Lauren.
sure. Okay. So I was going to ask you, do you put away your clothes right away when you wash them? And I guess the answer is no, just like me.
No. But it's interesting how when I fold laundry, I put away my son's clothes usually right away.
Yeah.
Then mine and my husband piles are just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, those can wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we're going to talk about a similar one, which is put back. And again, it has to do with putting things in the place that they are usually stored where they're supposed to be. But it has more of the idea that the thing has been removed from its usual place. Like, for example, you go grocery shopping, you didn't remove anything and put it back. No, you brought new groceries in and now you have to put them away. When you put something back, you remove it from its usual place, like, say, a book on a bookshelf. You take it out, you look at it, you read it, whatever, and then you put it back. You return it to the same place. So,
Yep. Or sometimes, like you said, at the grocery shopping, or you kind of look at stuff, you pick it up,
yes.
you look at it. I don't think I want it this time. So you put it back on the shelf.
Right.
Or, another meaning, this is, and this might be a little stretch there, but, at the grocery store or any store, somebody who works there, when they have to restock, which means people returned items like they bought previously, and they have to put them back on the shelf.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of. And actually, that's a good point, because there's also the contrast between when you buy something and then you get it home and you say, oh, I didn't really want it, or it doesn't fit, or whatever. And well, now you don't put it back, but you take it back.
Right.
You put it back if you took it from the shelf and you didn't buy it and you're returning it there. But if you buy it, take it home, and you return it, we say take it back. So, for example, I bought this shirt, it was too big, so I took it back. Yeah.
Or I bought this shirt and it was too small and I had to take it back.
Listen, I was trying to, be optimistic about this.
So, but yeah, that's a good point, because put back and take back and kind of similar there, but
yeah, because it has to do with like where the thing belongs. But yeah, there is some difference there. So hopefully that was clear. Oh, so I had another example that I thought of, because it really has a lot to do with if you think about borrowing something and you have to return it. That's put back. And sometimes you can borrow from yourself in a way. So for example, I don't know if you do this, but like sometimes I've got my little bank account, my savings account going, and I try to like keep my little my little stash of money there. But sometimes I have a big expense and I have to move that money out, a little bit of it, into my checking account so I can pay my bill. And I say to myself, I need to put that back. So next month when I get paid, I'm going to return that money, put it back into my savings.
That's right.
Do you ever do that?
A very good point. Yes. Oh yeah. I feel like I do that all the time.
I'm shuffling money here and there.
Shuffle. That's a good word too, when you move things back and forth, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah,
that's a good point.
Okay. I think that's it for that one. We're doing really well today. All right. So we are on the last one that I have for today. And this is another one of my favorites because I think it's really specific and it's really useful. It is put up with. Now, I mentioned at the beginning that the last one that I was going to talk about today is non-separable. So that means put up with. Those three words have to be used together. You can't put anything in between them. And you need all of them. You can't just say put up. You have to put up with something. And this means to tolerate or accept maybe an unpleasant situation or circumstance. Yeah.
Or deal with something that's
It's like deal
right.
with, right? Yeah, but um those can kind of be used interchangeably sometimes, but not always. Yeah, these
Yeah.
phrasal verbs are really tricky.
No, this
Sorry,
one is
guys.
really this one actually put up with it is a really good phrasal verb, and I feel like it took me a while before I even came across this phrasal verb when I was learning
Oh,
English. Because
cool.
you're so used to saying just to- not necessarily tolerate, but deal with or stuff like that. Tolerate, I think, is a little more formal way of saying put up with.
Yeah.
Um, but I remember it's like put up with. What do you mean put? Like, do I put it up? But with who? And like, what is this supposed to mean? So this is one of, again, and this is one of the examples where the phrasal verb, when you look just at words that are
Mm-mm.
in that phrase, they don't make sense
There's no
unless
way to
you know
know.
what that right, unless you actually know the meaning of it to be able
Yeah.
to use it and understand.
Yeah, there are a lot of
So
them like that. I don't remember which phrasal verb it was. I should have written it down, but I came across, there's another one. I came across a phrasal verb in an ESL, a low level ESL reading book. And there was a passage and they had highlighted, difficult words. And they had this phrasal verb in there. I don't remember which one it was, but they didn't even talk about it. They just completely ignored it. And I think the problem is when you're a native speaker and you see these little tiny words, oh, put up with, it looks like nothing. It looks like, oh, everybody knows put, everybody knows up, everybody knows with, right? But that's not it. You need to know what that phrase means. And I was really surprised that they didn't even address what that phrasal verb meant. But it's really easy to not notice when you're a native speaker.
right. But I bet especially if somebody with the lower level English when they're trying to learn and reading and then you come up with this and like, how do I figure this out?
Yeah, you can't. So anyway, yeah, we said that means like to tolerate something. Um,
Mhm.
and I got to thinking about like situations that you might have to put up with. Like if you, like say if you live in a big city, um, what are some things that you might have to put up with?
Noise.
Noise, yeah, right? There's nothing you can do about it. You live there, you wanted to live there, so you have to accept it, you have to
Put up
tolerate it.
right. Or crowds, like when you have to
Yeah.
use public transportation or
Oh,
traffic. Oh,
traffic, parking.
another yes, you have to put up with it.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but you could use put up with something, but you could also use put up with someone.
Yeah, you can.
And it's somebody who it could be you would have to put up with somebody and you would use it in the context of that person annoys me,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to put up with them, right? I have
Right.
to
Because
live
we
with them.
work
I have to deal with
together,
them. Yes, yeah.
right? Yeah.
I mean, hopefully you don't have to put up with somebody you live with. That would be tough.
Yeah.
Although,
Well, so sometimes some days are better
depends
than
on the
others.
day. Depends on the day.
Yeah. Well, the flip side is true. He has to put up with me sometimes too. So, that's life. Yeah, that's a really good one. And we often use it in the negative when we want to say something like, I refuse to put up with such and such behavior, or I'm not going to put up with this anymore, or you shouldn't put up with that. Like you shouldn't accept this. You shouldn't tolerate this.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So
I was
that
thinking,
that's a really good phrasal verb
it really
and
is.
commonly used as well.
Yes, definitely.
So
But you're right. I didn't think about this, but we also use deal with very similarly. Deal with also has another meaning, means to like manage or handle a situation, like to
mhm.
actively do something to take care of it. But we also use it in this way, like, well, you don't like it, tough, deal with it. It means put up with it.
Right. Or I don't want to deal with this right now.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah. Go away. I'm not putting up with it. I'm not dealing with it. Exactly. Yeah.
Very
Nice.
interesting. Very interesting.
All right. Well, you know what? I think that's all I have for today. I think that was a pretty cool conversation. I enjoyed talking about those phrasal verbs. How about you?
I did too. I always find phrasal verbs very interesting. I mean, they're such a important part of the language, and I
They
think
are.
that's what makes language more interesting and rich and just vibrant. And um, so I always enjoy phrasal verbs. They're
Yes.
tough to learn, but they're fun to use.
But if you want to learn English, you have to put up with them. But I'm
Good one.
pumped.
Good one.
All right. Okay, well, I hope you all like this. And if you are interested in phrasal verbs or any other kind of topics that you think would be interesting to hear about, please let us know. You can check out the website, realcoolenglish.com/podcast, and go ahead and drop us a note. Don't forget to check out the show notes. You're going to download those. We're going to talk more about these phrasal verbs and have some other interesting tidbits, hopefully, that you will find useful. All righty. Take care.
Until next time, here's to good coffee and good conversation. Cheers.
Cheers.